Hi, my name's Pharaoh, and I'm back in my After Titan save today because I figured I was going to grind for some nanites outside of this save, outside of streaming, but then I thought, well, I could probably get some nanites quite quickly if I just scan some creatures like I was doing in this save originally. But you catch me at the moment just making use of the new availability for the workshop cache, where we can now put stuff directly into it, which is yet another game changer, because now we don't have loads and loads of space tied up in all of our inventories. And I'm just quickly emptying out these containers of all the parts I had. So I can now use these containers for more useful things. Hi Wolfheart, good to see you. So the fact that we can do this and also build from this as well, so we don't need these parts in our inventory at all, is great. Such a quality of life. I mean, we were asking for this on Reddit, but there were 2 or 3 streams where we were talking about it, and they appear to have listened to us. And the thing they did, because this is supposed to be an overflow, and if you have a small inventory, then if you're deleting stuff and you've got a full inventory, it goes into here. They've also increased this inventory size, and they've increased the stack size. So these will all now stack to 50 each, and there's 160 items in the inventory. So there's more than enough for all of the parts. So we can just shove every single part in here, which is great. A huge difference that will make. I'm not sure if I had any parts anywhere else. I'll just double check what other ships I had, just in case I stashed some elsewhere. I don't think I did. No, I didn't stash any in there. I've only got a couple of ships in this save. I could probably get rid of this. Might be interesting to put a similar loadout into a hauler and then compare it to a Corvette, considering they are the same under the hood. Hi Alphas, good to see you. The good news that I'm just demonstrating is that in experimental branch we can now build from this menu. We have a huge number of slots in it now, up to 160 slots. Everything stacks to 50, and we can build from it. So if I wanted to, I've got all of my parts in there now, and if I want to modify this, I have everything available to build. Absolutely wonderful thing. Thank you very much, Hello Games, for listening to the player feedback, saying, why can't we just use this as an inventory? Why have we got to have yet another inventory grind when we could just chuck stuff in here? Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the same as what I'm currently... Let's have a look. Let's see if there's actually a release log yet. Read more. Yeah, it looks like it's the same update. Because I noticed there was a very small change to this build at about 12:30, so not long ago. So I think this build was slightly updated before they shoved it into public. So we're probably on the same as public for PC. Currently it is only PC according to the release log. But Voyagers 6.02 supposedly is now on PS4, PS5, Xbox, all of the Xboxes, and obviously PC. So we're getting there. So yeah, theoretically, slowly but surely everybody will now have access to this, and I'm very, very pleased to see this. They have kind of fixed the... Let's just put it in there. They have kind of fixed the... It doesn't seem to mess around with your inventory quite as much when you change your ship anymore. That's good news. Hi, Gary. Good to see you. Is anybody else here? Doesn't look like it. So, yeah, I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased that they've done the two major things. I bet they haven't fixed the problem with going backwards. I'll just test that very, very quickly. I'll need a reload, but while I'm in what they've changed, it's worth testing. And just quickly get out so I can reload in a minute. If I leave the ship without any momentum, station without any momentum. Whoa. I must have just hit something just on the way out. There's still a very, very strong reaction to hitting something. Really spins you around. Right, so if I try and go backwards... No, I don't have any of them set backwards. Well, I can't test that right now, so I won't bother. I'm going to try and keep this stream short and sweet, because obviously we are expecting at around about 3 o'clock the expedition. So I'm going to give myself until maybe about an hour, hour and a half, and then give myself a break to grab something to eat, and then I'll be back in and playing the expedition. And I've also noticed that I've chosen a very poorly coloured t-shirt that's occasionally picking up the green chromatic colour. So I might have to change to black or something, or white. Something primary and simple. In the meantime, for those interested, and I don't think the people that would be particularly interested are in at the moment, but in the meantime, yesterday I started my first ever abandoned save, which I didn't stream, but I did record. So what I may do is... Well, that's already there. Well, what I think I will do is publish that as a slightly edited version for the people that are interested in that mode. And my plan is, in abandoned mode, to only use the Corvette as my base, which I hope will work. I think it will work. Yeah, I think nearly everybody is expecting the expedition at 3 o'clock now. And with this update, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a file in our saves that says 3 o'clock, but I haven't looked. But I'm just going to go offline for about an hour to half an hour. Have something to eat, come back at about 3, and we'll see. And if not, we'll just carry on and see if it drops. But I'm pretty sure it's going to drop. Yep, they've updated the Corvette stack 250, and we can put everything in the box in the space station. So we can build from there. We can just use it as a place to store all of our parts, and we don't need to clog up our inventory at all. It's a nice thing to spot. Let's just check the multi-tool. I'm landing. I'm getting it out of the habit. Shouldn't land with this thing. There's no need. Yeah, that's awful. Can't be bothered to claim it just to even to scrap it. Might as well shut down the Sentinel forces while I'm here, though. It's 1 for me right now. So about 3 o'clock. I think it's 10 o'clock Eastern time in America, if that helps anybody. I don't think I get many people from America watching at this time. We have quite a cozy, small number of people watching this stream anyway. So I want to try and get all of the creatures on this planet to get them nanites. I swear there was a small one missing. What? Okay, it's one of those grubbing ones. There's one over there. Yeah, 2 hours time. Exactly. I mean, these things are subject to change, but the fact that they dropped the patch this morning, or this afternoon here, feels like they're getting ready to drop it, and all of these stars are aligning. People interrogate the server to see when it's set up for. And then they let us know. But they can change. How are we doing? 11 out of 11. Excellent. Good time to check. I could just do upload all of this save. Nice to see nectar, because we don't often get that. Was that the predator? It must have been. Where's my ship? Okay, so that's the nanites grabbed from this one. Does this Switch or Switch 2 have Voyagers yet? I really wouldn't know. I haven't seen it on any of the lists. If it gets too delayed, then what they tend to do is slightly extend the expedition. So if it doesn't get released on Switch for another 2 weeks, they'll usually give them time. But my bet is this is going to be a long expedition. I bet this is going to be a 6-weeker while they continue to iron out problems with the save. But they've ironed out most of the things that would really mess people up, I think. They don't really don't have as many problems landing. You don't have as many problems beaming down and beaming up. You don't have as many problems in things like the Atlas station. So theoretically, should be fine, I think. Right, let me go completely out of the right screens on my Stream Deck. Let's go back to normal. Might not strobe quite as much. I'm getting strobing in my hair. I don't usually get that. My hair's going green. They did get the main update. I don't really follow what's going on with Switch. Whenever you're on Reddit, you do see people complaining that whatever version of Switch isn't available. I'd love to know what Switch 2 performance is like with the Corvette. I hope it's okay. If I'm in mobile mode, I'll go to my Steam Deck. Deadeye Cannon, yeah. Does it have different stats to the other cannon? Because they all have different stats. One other thing I noticed, because yesterday I was getting confused because I thought the reactors all had this pulse drive fuel efficiency. But every reactor has a different set of stats and interacts with different things. So there's a certain amount of customization if you don't want to put everything in. Is that just going to slow things down? There's not going to be anything on this planet. I suppose I do need to land. When I say land... Oh, that went into skydiving mode. That's not quite right. Don't really want to do that. I don't think I'm going to get particularly a lot of nanites from doing a crash freighter. Hi, good guys free. I mean, I kind of don't blame you. I sometimes lose my temper on Reddit, but in general, for No Man's Sky, for Reddit, I generally have a good time and everybody seems quite nice. I lost my rag a bit yesterday, but one of my issues I have is that every time we get a major update like this that really pulls people in, and this one has pulled more people back in than ever, more than Next even, which was the highest until now, you get loads of people coming back that have only ever played it from the original game. And while they're generally happy that there's a new update, as far as they're concerned, No Man's Sky lost their faith years ago, and they're still never quite forgiven Hello Games for what happened. And I got into a slightly fractious discussion where someone just wanted to argue with me about what happened back then, and it's like, well, we all know what happened back then now. It's public record now. We don't need to go over this. But they seem to have their own ideas about what happened, which don't match the public record at all. So, in the end, I did patiently just go through what I said. This is what happened. I'm not arguing. This is what happened. Yeah, I do like... he has a different name on Reddit. I do like what he does. I used to be much more into building. I used to think of myself as mainly a builder, but then I started getting fascinated with how this game worked under the hood, and so that became my main obsession. But for someone that doesn't really build much, I do currently have a and still there, for some strange reason, a base in the anomaly, in the featured bases. So it kind of means I'm still a builder as far as everybody else is concerned. They haven't changed... Oh, what did I hit? They haven't changed those feature bases for so long. Dinosaurs. I want to see some different ones. Well, I can understand why people keep the grudge, but they don't want to move the narrative on. They want to believe their own idea of what happened back then. They want to be able to blame somebody other than themselves for buying the game, sort of, I think. it's just, I don't want to have the argument. We had that argument in, well, years and years ago. I said, I don't really want to argue like it's 2016. But I wasn't around in 2016 arguing about it. Because I was just patiently waiting for the game to work on my PC, which meant I had to buy and build or whatever a new PC. So I didn't start until Beyond, in the middle of Beyonds, which is a good time to start. Because a lot of the problems that I ironed out, the game loop was a lot better. There was a proper storyline by then. It kind of felt like a game when I first played it. Even though I was mainly fascinated by the procedural generation. And never really had a problem with the way the game launched. That's my usual reply. It's like, that's not the way I see it. It's not the way I saw it back then. It's not the way I see it now. And I usually leave it at that. Quite a lot of the people that stream this game played it from launch and loved it at launch. They saw the problems, but what's this? Can you try to move the shield or the hyperdrive track of your Corvette, please? Do you mean... I can have a look. I don't really want to move stuff around in my Corvette because I'm happy with it, but I don't mind checking for bugs. It's one of the things I always end up doing in a stream anyway. I'll get back to that in a second. Let's see how many we need. Have I just... Why has that got that on there? I haven't adopted it. That's a weird bug. Only in that screen. It's odd. Auto-adopt. Let's get out of the storm a minute. I can have a look at the chat properly. That's not updating. Why isn't that updating? Right, I'll have to read it on here. Bear with me a second. I'll need to... Oh, I've missed a bit of chat here. Just some extra parts with the save editor. One of them is the expedition reward. Yeah, we talked about that. It's slightly inconvenient for me timing-wise, says Alphys. Yeah, I mean, what can you do? Work. I dislike Reddit so much that I wrote a bot. Yeah, I got that one. Can we move tech in Corvette injury team now? Yes, we can. Do you want me to just check? Do you mean the basic tech, just to make sure it hasn't reverted? Okay, well, let me look at that now, because I am right there after all. Don't have a lot of space. I'll have to put that there. X. Is that what you mean? Hyperdrive. Where's the hyperdrive? That's been fixed for a while. It doesn't seem to have reverted. In fact, now every time you go in to edit it, it doesn't move all your tech around like it was doing. So it's getting better. Is that what you wanted? Or was there a particular thing you wanted to check? Sorry, good guy had already done it. There's no substitute for seeing it happen. This is working now. So you think we'll get it on console today? I don't know if it will be really there in time, but I don't think... Hopefully the expedition will be playable in the current state of the game. We'll see. I mean, depends. I would have thought that they would delay it if it wasn't quite playable. We have had problems with unplayable expeditions before, where they just get stuck and we have to carry on and do other things. I mean, not completely unplayable, but kind of things that we can't complete. Or things we have to delve into the save editor to sort out while they get a fix ready. Right, there seems to be quite a lot of creatures here. What are we missing? We're missing underwater, that's why. And they're all underwater now. Okay, let's go and find some deep water. No, help away. If someone's asking questions and you want to check, then go for it. But it's worth looking. I have a second screen on my iPad that shows me the chat, and I can bring stuff up like that. But it wasn't working for some reason, so I had to scroll back, and then I didn't see what was happening in the new chat, so I missed it all. That's the only reason for my confusion. I wasn't exasperated by anybody. I was exasperated by my technology not working. Cloud cover's a bit hard to see the water. I find it hard to believe there's a lot of water on this planet. They have so many fish in it. Ah, there's an ocean over there. And we can access my favourite detail of these ships, which is being able to stop above the water, beam down, and have a nice flotation device. I also quite love the fact that it causes a huge ripple. It's like our technology is interfering with the world. That's really nice, that flotation. It would be a nice base part to have, so we could easily get to underwater bases without having to build slopes and other difficult things. Although deep in my history, I do show people how to make sloped corridors to get down to underwater bases. I might update that at some point, because it does seem to be one of those things that is almost forgotten. A friend of mine, Loki, who's really into his underwater bases, saying he's always having to explain to people that you can make sloped corridors. I can see why they changed the setting for underwater opacity now, because it's quite murky down here. We can obviously change it. Let's see how much of a difference it makes. Displaying graphics. It wasn't displaying graphics, was it? It's probably general. No, it's accessibility probably. Underwater blur. Let's take it down as far as it will go. Doesn't make a huge difference. I guess things are a little bit sharper. I notice my frame rate is a lot slower at the moment. So this update may not be best optimized. It's not bad. I mean, I deliberately use DLSS when I'm streaming just so it goes a bit faster, and I'm at 150, but I was at 250 yesterday. It's a bit of flickering. Was that just somebody going across the sun? Probably. Right, how are we getting on with this? 2 more. Underwater in the north, underwater nocturnal. I think it's the particle effect that's giving it all the murk. What's it called? I don't know what it would be called. Oh, am I in the north? Probably not if I didn't spot anything. No, I'm in the south. Okay. So I need to find a northern. Let's go back to what it was. It didn't seem to change an awful lot. From 0 to 100, you'd have thought it would change more. Just let's read it. Adjust the blur strength on distant objects in underwater environments, reducing the setting to 0 to disable underwater blur entirely. Changing this setting may make navigating underwater more comfortable. I think it was mostly the things that were further away that sharpened a bit. So maybe it's quite subtle. Maybe it's mainly an accessibility thing. Still haven't got north on our compass for the Corvettes, which is going to make it hard to judge exactly where north is. That's good to hear that it's released on all. I assumed it would be, but it hasn't. It doesn't show on the patch notes yet as being available for all, which usually they time it so that on the release log it will show as it's available on each one. Volumetric, maybe. I mean, I quite like it, but I can have a look. I don't mind the blurriness. It doesn't always make for the best stream, but then it's best to just avoid these planets. Are we in the north? Yes, we're in the north. Maybe we'll just find a pond with these in. I could see the pond. I thought I saw some water a minute ago, but maybe I didn't. I think it's quite immersive that we get these really bad weather effects and murkiness. Always makes it hard to spot water when there's a storm, because you can't just go up into space because the clouds are too good, too covering. That looks like water. It looks like a large enough piece of water. Let's see if we can find what we need in there. it's very shallow. Well, yeah, that is one of the problems with life, isn't it? I don't need to recharge everything. Why are you not just focusing on the things I need? Hi, Gravnort. If you didn't see the good news about the inventory changes, they have definitely made collecting parts for Corvettes a lot easier now. And tested it, it works brilliantly. And they've released it to public, so and I was saying earlier, and I know that you're one of the people that would be interested, one of the few people that would be interested, is they started an abandoned save yesterday, which I recorded and will probably make an edited video of just for reference for those people that are interested. What are we actually missing here? I thought I would try an abandon mode, just the rare underwater north. Try an abandon mode and just focus on Corvette as my base. So I've left it part way into getting some salvaged parts after about 2.5 hours, I think. Maybe 1.5, I can't remember now. I'm editing it at the moment. Right, I think I might have to go deep. This is kind of a thing worth trying if you're looking for a rarer creature. Sometimes if you go deeper and then scan around, it will give it a chance to spawn in around you because it will think you're in deeper water. Doesn't always work. Turn that torch off. What's my torch button? I'm sure I've got one. That's it. Now, obviously, it depends on the kind of creature that's missing. If it's a larger creature, then it will usually spawn in deeper water. That doesn't seem to have worked. Might need to find a deeper body of water. Doesn't usually worry though. Never mind, we'll just move on. Sometimes it's quicker to move on than it is to kind of persevere, because you might just be in an area where they just don't spawn as much. Just check each few feet.
Weather warning, incoming storm.
I should have got out of here before that storm, because then I would have been able to see where the water bodies are. So for anybody joining me at the moment, this is a save where I continued on from the Titan expedition. It's a bit fiddly about selecting that. Only a certain spot. I keep missing it as well. I need to maybe fix this. Let's see if I can stand on it. Can you stand on it? Possibly not. Doesn't... Oh, yes, you can. Ah, I nearly had it then. Come on. It's just not staying there long enough for me to access it. Don't make me fly up to my ship. It's clearly something to do with bobbing up and down, so let's try and give myself clear of water. Cheerio, good guys free. Thanks for the compliment. Good to see you. Right, so let's go a bit further north. Still don't have north on the compass. As I was saying earlier, I won't be streaming for too long because I'm expecting the expedition at 3, and so I'm going to give myself a break and then come back at about 3. But I'll be here for another hour or so, I think. What time is it now? 1:43. Yeah, maybe 3/4 of an hour. I can't ever resist logging in if I'm around and the expedition is starting. I like to just play it early when there's not so much furniture being left around by random players. Can't see the water. Maybe I'll come back for this one. Have I done all the other... No, I've got a few other planets, so I'll come back to this one. Come back when there's not a storm, which seems quite rare. How many nanites have I actually got now? 3,300. Abandoned stations are bugged. They weren't bugged when we last looked. Have you checked them today? And they weren't bugged when I was playing last night on this experimental branch, although it's changed subtly since then. I don't think it's changed much. I was able to land, I was able to go to the build section for Corvettes. I was able to take off. I get that because they're often rare. It's not going to let me until I get closer. Why isn't it letting me? Oh, I'll get that for now.
Units received.
Where's the red dot?
Units received. Units received. Units received.
Can't even see a creature down here. Is there something dead? It's very still. Right, let's see. I bet that's despawned now because it's suddenly night time. I think they were trying to get the patch from experimental in. My hunch, I have a feeling that they are going to continue on their push and drive for getting No Man's Sky. I got it. Getting No Man's Sky in front of as many people's eyes as possible by having another free play weekend. Whether that will be this weekend or some point during the expedition, I don't know. But this would be the perfect release to have at a free play weekend. Actually, I should look at that, see what I'm missing. Ground and flying. Rare grounds. I just need to run around a bit. That can be it. No, it's not. And I can't help thinking, if they have a free play weekend, which will give them a few problems because it will clog their servers. But if they have a free play weekend, they could have huge numbers of players at one time. But it's all about their strategy of getting No Man's Sky in front of as many people as possible so that they understand who they are and what kind of thing they're capable of when Light No Fire comes along. So they're more likely to purchase the new game.
Units received.
And so we've got one flyer. We're unlikely to see a flyer at night. Unless it's... I mean, there are... I think there is a couple of night flyers. I think we just got a flyer that was at night, but yeah, that's not only at night. Yeah, I agree totally with Alphys there in that. I know I haven't got that on my thing yet. It's obviously slightly delayed on my This is playing up a bit. No, it's not coming to my iPad again. Let me just reset that again. It's never played up quite like this before. I have to see if there's an update available. Probably want to go to another part of the planet where it's dawn. Because you're more likely to get them spawning in around about dawn. Or quicker anyway. Where's the sun? Down there somewhere. We're on the complete other side of the planet. Is that going to be dawn? Didn't pay attention to which way. It'd be dawn or dusk. Let's see. They also seem to be selling quite a few copies on Steam at the moment. So again, it's a good reason to get it in front of as many people's eyes as possible. So what time is it here? It doesn't say because I'm not on the ground. Interesting. Okay, let's go to the ground. 3:45. No, that's not what. I've read the wrong script. So this is dusk, and it's getting dark already. Never mind. They've done it before. They have released patches on the same day before. Partly they have to. Well, they usually have to release something. They don't have to. Depends how they've initiated the save. But they often need to just keep things updated so they can release the patch. So sometimes we just get a tiny little spike on download. But you don't have to do that. Because it's mostly server side. There's the sun. I might have got a bit lost, but let's hope it's early in the day. It's very easy to lose yourself just flying around like that, especially if you don't stay on a heading. Is it going to give me a time yet? No, it's not. Midday-ish. All right.
Weather warning.
Ah, that's straight away. Didn't need to worry about the dawn.
Units received.
So, done that one. Done that one. We got one to do on that one. Done that one. And there's none on that one. So it's just this moon. Let's mark it. I lost the teleporter for a minute. It's never announced, but there are data miners that interrogate the server. Because if you know what you're doing, you can interrogate the server because it's... You can pretend to be a client, i.e. the game. So you can use your own credentials to log on. And you can check to see whether or not there's an upcoming expedition. Now, it's not 100% reliable. You might log on one day and you will see that there's a timed event happening at, say, like it says today, 3 o'clock this afternoon in the UK. But then as that time approaches, they may change their mind, and the next day you'll look and it will say a different time. So nobody can ever say for certain until it drops. But everything seems to be aligning okay. We have a patch out. We have a reasonably well working game at the moment. They've fixed most of the things that would really cause problems.
Units received.
And quite a few other things as well, like fixing the chair. Hooray! It's difficult to describe how obsessed I was with that chair. Every single patch, the first thing I did was scan for the word chair.
Units received.
How many are on this one? Let's put it on explore. It would help, wouldn't it? Creatures 3 of 6. Where are the others then? Ground, underground, underground. Okay, we're going to have to test to see if these underground creatures are any better now they've stopped them popping up to the top. Let's scan for some buildings. I do like that. It's not the type of thing I'd want to stream because you'd be seeing the usernames and people could take offense. But it's definitely a fun thing to do. I will definitely be doing it at some point. I'm sure most people wouldn't even really mind that much if you stowed away. Did you have any problems? Did you get thrown out of the ship at all at any point? Or that's not going to have caves, I don't think. Ah, but it has got... It's a beacon, so we can find a minus settlement. Yeah, it would be a bit monotonous, but you could use it as a game mode, couldn't you? You could give yourself things that you needed to do in each system, and then the next thing you had to do is get out of that system by using the anomaly to go somewhere else. I know there were definitely a few problems like that early on, where you get thrown out. Now these are far more likely to have caves, or at least open cave terrain. And it looks like we've got open cave terrain there. Of course, you never know. You might find a... Why isn't that giving me a landing pad? Oh, because I'm in a Corvette. It's going to take some getting used to, these Corvettes. Let's see if we can scan an underground creature without getting out. No, I don't think I'm at the right angle anyway. This is the perfect terrain. But there's nothing here right now. Ah, there it is. It's right here somewhere. I can hear it. Ah, there he is. He's trying to run away.
Unit received.
So, what was that? Was that the rare? That was the uncommon ground. So we haven't got the underground yet. Rare underground and uncommon underground. Give this plenty of time to attempt to spawn by going across all of the cave terrain. So, was it you, Alphys, that was saying you don't like this distortion on these kinds of planets? I'm surprised. Do they all have this kind of distortion on the dissonant planets now? I presume not. I like the blue cave marrow. There's a subterranean relic over there. So there's another cave somewhere. We can call it a cave. Oh, yeah, that is a cave. Aha!
Units received.
So that was the uncommon. So we're looking for the rare, of course. Is there any more underground stuff that I can head towards? Nope, nope. Come on, I want to get this done at least before I have to... Oh well. Before I have to take a break. You've noticed all the lush ones so far have it. But they all have gravity storms. This is inescapable toxins. It doesn't even look like it has gravity storm. Maybe it will. Because that is an exotic weather. I think I might go to another building. But before I go to another building, I should really come back here because I've been far enough away for it to respawn differently. And then I should really do a reload just in case. Because a reload can force them to spawn. Let's put a save point down. Don't let me forget the save points there. Reload, restore point. creatures are starting to spawn higher, which I think is partly... I think they wanted to do that for this update, which is why they probably did a few of those optimizations they mentioned. So I've noticed a lot more creatures spawning when I'm flying around in my ship. No, it doesn't seem to have come in. I like to just traverse the terrain just in case running around makes it spawn. But this doesn't look promising, so let's go somewhere else. Right, so what we'll do is we'll get a heading and we'll keep an eye out like Ravnot was suggesting the other day. We'll keep an eye out for underground things. I don't know if we're going to get them on this planet, but... Oh, you were saying they come up on the HUD, weren't you? So we don't have to leave the ship. So, oh. Is that the right thing, or is that? Yeah, that's an underground thing, isn't it? And it's a cave. Landed again. Got to get out of the habit of landing. There's no need. Especially when I'm playing the abandoned mode. I was quite surprised how relaxed abandoned mode seemed. I mean, I only nearly died once. In my permadeath save. I really do think they need to do something about the starting planet for permadeath if you don't have a tutorial. And obviously abandoned mode doesn't have a tutorial. So what that means is you don't get any storms. Because the game chooses a planet to start on that doesn't have storms and then manipulates the planet to give you storms in a set manner. As part of the scripting. And if it had storms, it would interrupt that scripting potentially. So they've decided to always start on planets that don't have storms. But if you're playing a permadeath mode, you want a challenge. You set everything to high or high-ish. And then you end up having quite an easy starter planet, really. It can be quite a harsh environment, but it's not very harsh weather. Seems an odd choice. Not a bad idea to use hotkeys. But I'm using a controller, so hotkeys are kind of a bit of an afterthought. You have to reach for your keyboard. Can somebody get on the phone to Valve and tell them to bring out the next Steam controller as soon as possible, please? This is not working out. One last look. There's a worm. Have a look around, see what type of worm it is. Is that the dust there? No. I've missed it there, I think. I usually find nighttime is a good time to search for underground creatures. I think there's a slightly higher chance. I don't know for certain. It just seems to work out that way. It's a hunch. Landed again. That time was because I was paying attention to my coffee. Sometimes they will spawn in so you can see them through the ground. Yeah, it's not the right type of terrain down here. When you get normal terrain underground, it's not the ideal place for underground creatures to spawn. This kind of terrain with the small little glowing mushrooms, that's perfect. But this stuff, no. I'm going to take off again. I'm trying to remember not to land this time. I think they might have improved walking up the steps. I haven't had as many problems walking up the steps today. I may have spoken too soon, but... Is that a beacon and some caves? That's a double whammy. Landed again. Okay. Do that just in case I need to. Is that another... That looked like another minor settlement over there somewhere. Oh, I'm not seeing caves now. They may have closed up. Oh, there's a cave. Come on, just one little red dot. That's all we need. It's at this point I often double check that I am looking for the right thing. Rare underground, yes. One of the tricks I like to use, because there are just so many different possibilities, get as deep as possible and look everywhere in all directions, because you might have a neighbouring cave where it will spawn. Look up, because just in case it's still going upwards, clipping into the edge and going upwards, which they say they're fixed, but you never know. And going deep into the cave and then coming out the same way, because sometimes when you return, things have spawned in behind you. But none of those things have happened. So again, deep into the cave. Have a look around. Nope. Have a look up, just in case. It's sometimes worth looking down because there could be multiple layers. And then work your way out, just checking on the way out, just in case it spawned behind you. Nope. That's not underground, it's cargo. Can't see anything else that's underground. Have a quick look around. Have a quick look around for local caves. Not seeing anything. Right. Did I press this? Yes, I did, because it's marked over there. So I have a feeling it's in that direction somewhere. I think I saw another minor settlement. My sense of direction doesn't let me down. Yes, there it is. Almost perfectly aligned. Yeah, I'm trying to land again. Look. At least by trying to land there, I reminded myself not to land. This isn't the first place I came to, is it? Looks very similar in the cave terrain. Looks incredibly similar. It might be the same one. I might just come in circles. Not that it matters. It's sometimes worth coming to these places more than once. Right, let's go and have a look at the new one. I don't know if my mic is picking up that rain outside. I'm seeing tiny spikes when I stop speaking, so it possibly is. not high? Oh, it's probably a moon, isn't it? That's probably why it's not navigating around. I know a lot of people would have just moved to a different system by now. But I haven't... Hang on, why is it not? Oh, it is now. Didn't seem to let me straight away. Maybe I was going too fast. Is there even any cave terrain here? Doesn't look like it. There's another building over there, though. Entrance. Sometimes these are entrances. They've just been blocked by the randomness of the generation. Not seeing anything there. There's a building over there, though. No caves around this one either. Where was that building remarked? It's 300 all the way. Doesn't look like it's cutting into the terrain anywhere. It's not the best place, not the best part of the planet. It's probably a bit too flat. How far away am I? I think this is the worst part of the planet for... I think planets have a tilt. So they're based on us. I mean, we've already got here, haven't we? They're based on a sphere, and then I think there's another offset sphere that gives it just very slightly, that gives high ground and lower ground on different parts of the planet. Original planets, that is, not purple systems, which are completely different. So I'm going to avoid this part of the planet because I don't think it's very lucky. Hi there. I'm going to guess Bertie Bometti or Bometti. Forgive me if I pronounce that badly, or very Anglophile. We're expecting the expedition at 3 o'clock, which means I'm going to take a break shortly and then come back in about half an hour or so. Whether it will definitely drop at 3 o'clock is always difficult to say. But that's the data mining information we have. And I'm going to go by that and make sure I have a break. Because last time an expedition dropped, I get a little bit sucked into expeditions. I really like them. And I end up streaming for too long. So I want to try and temper that a bit today. The last expedition dropped, I ended up streaming for 7 hours. Start to get twitchy after 3, so 7. I have no idea what I was actually like. I was too focused on playing. Well, when I say 3 o'clock, I mean 3 o'clock UK time. It's 2:28 here. So I expect about half an hour from now. Expect is a strong word. I would like it to be in about half an hour's time. Yeah, everybody lives in the future that watches my streams. Yeah, they're either in Europe or somewhere on the subcontinent or who knows where. This isn't looking very promising either. This is getting a little bit frustrating, I have to be honest. I like looking for underground creatures, but not necessarily while streaming. I really want to get these nanites. What's the 3-star? I saw a 3-star. There it is. Sac venom. That's not really going to help me. Berry technology module. This might have to defeat me if I'm going to take a break. Ah! It was just there, and then it disappeared. But it suggests that there's a spawn point around here somewhere. See, it's teasing me. It heard me say take a break. It popped up just to try and tempt me to stay online for 10 minutes. There it is. What am I doing? Terrain manipulator. I'm panicking. I want to get there quickly. $52. $21. Okay, it must be here somewhere. There it is. There it is. Ah, perfectly timed. So it's just that underwater creature to get when I next play this save. This rain continues. I might Could someone just confirm it if the rain is interfering with my speech? Because if it is, I might have to adjust my gain and put my microphone right in front of my mouth, which I don't usually do. Okay, so I made a save. Thanks, Gary. I mean, it's always... I'm right at the top of the house. My office space is kind of in the eaves of the house. And right above my head, just up here, there's a window and it's being rained on. And I get paranoid that it... I mean, I try and filter those kinds of things out, but I get paranoid that it's going to mess up my volume, my speech. Right, so I've saved. I'm going to leave. I'm going to go out of the game. Actually, no, I should just double check that we haven't got the expedition now. So I should really do quick to mode select. Oh, we do have it. It's here. I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to give myself half an hour break. But yes, the expedition has arrived. I'm going to leave it on that screen. No, I won't do an actual break. I'll stop recording, and then I'll start it in a few minutes. I'll be back in about half an hour. So see you then. Travel well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for keeping me company and chatting. And goodbye for now. Just had an old bug happen. I didn't fly out the anomaly. I was able to fly around the anomaly. Oh, I don't like that one. All right, I'm going to stop streaming now. I'll be back in about... Well, I'll be back at 3 when I expected it.